What is going on, everyone? Nostalgia925 coming at you with another Digi fan art episode. An episode that is part of a series where we discuss Digimon made by fans that surprisingly look very canon and totally worth discussing. To be honest, some fan art looks so cool that I'm so eager to make videos about them, otherwise it just stay at the side only to be forgotten. That's why I made a fully dedicated playlist to honor these amazing works. For this video, I'd like to thank Andres Marrero, who tagged me on Twitter to a very interesting Digimon made by Filippo Draws. I took a look at the Twitter account and I have to say that you will find some very interesting drawings. From Pokémon to other series, masterpieces, truly. I highly recommend that you go and check the account to show your appreciation, gratitude and support. I believe we all need some support in these days, don't you think? Just in case, you can find the link towards the Twitter account in the description box. The picture I was linked to is that of a Digimon Pokémon fusion. To be more specific, the Mega Level Digimon WarGreymon fused with the Pokémon Empoleon to create this DNA Digivolution that has no name and no story whatsoever. Its beauty is so mesmerizing that I don't even know where to start, so we'll take it step by step. I made sure to consult your comments in the Nostalgia925 community page. These are very helpful as they add more value to this video and in fact every video, as we can view any subject from different points of view, giving us multiple truths and as a consequence, a video with more value. Now let us go ahead and discuss the Digimon Pokémon fusion. As this channel is focused on Digimon, I'm going to give our Pokémon guest Empoleon the privilege of being discussed first. It is my way to call the Pokémon welcome and also to thank the Pokémon fans who might see this channel for a first time. We are first briefly going to discuss the two component Digimon and Pokémon before discussing the fusion. So who is Empoleon? Actually, out of curiosity, what does the name even mean? Let us start explaining that first. You see, Empoleon is based on an emperor penguin, the tallest and heaviest of all living penguin species, reaching 100 centimeters or 39 inches. Put Empoleon next to the emperor penguin and you might be surprised that it is much taller, coming at 5'7" or 1.7 meters, which is fairly tall. Although, in comparison, all WarGreymon in the different media depictions were almost 2 times Empoleon's height, even if height doesn't really matter in the Digimon sphere. So that means that on one hand we can say that the name Empoleon comes from the emperor penguin, and on the other hand, Empoleon may also be a combination of Napoleon, in reference to the famous emperor of France, Napoleon Bonaparte. So, by considering Empoleon's name only, we could say that it symbolizes royalty. And that much can certainly be confirmed when looking at a particular quote written in the Pokédex in Pokémon Legends Arceus, which says that since ancient times, Empoleon was revered by the people of Hisui, who called it the Master of Waves. It is a Pokémon regarded with great admiration, worthy of great honor and respect. And to give it an even bigger touch of royalty and godliness, Empoleon was given this yellow beak that extends upward into 3 pointed horns that form a trident-shaped crest. A trident is seen as a fishing tool, yes, but it is also the weapon of choice for the Greek god Poseidon. Knowing that we are talking about a penguin Pokémon, it must come as no surprise that it belongs to the water type. It means it fares well defensively and is weak only to the electric and grass type moves. When swimming in the water, Empoleon can move as fast as a jet boat. That is why it is often referred to as the Master of Waves, and thanks to the edges of its wings, which are so sharp, it can easily find its way by slicing apart drifting ice, and heck, it is said that its wings are a match for even master-crafted blades. Speaking of ice, water-type Pokémon can also learn strong ice-type moves, so it wouldn't be a surprise to see its fusion with WarGreymon using water and ice-type moves. Empoleon is also part of the Steel-type Pokémon. On average, Steel-type Pokémon have the highest physical defense among all Pokémon and among fully evolved Pokémon. What makes Empoleon so unique in the Pokémon universe is that, as a dual-type Pokémon, it is the only one with the water and steel-type combination. This does give it many advantages in combat. Before discussing WarGreymon, I do want to point something out. You see, in this channel I also discussed a few Pokemon out of curiosity to knowing more about the franchise. I would love to explore once more the Pokemon universe by discussing Pokemon per Pokemon, but we'll see how it goes depending on your requests. On the Digimon side we have WarGreymon, a tall reptilian Digimon with a humanoid body structure with Tyrannosaurus Rex-like features, said to be the strongest dragon warrior. It is a Digimon at the Mega level, which is the final level a Digimon can get to. There's no higher level than this one. WarGreymon's name is a special one. The war in its name is a reference to a state of armed conflict between different countries or between different groups for specific reasons. The grey in its name means old or ancient. There are multiple ways one can interpret that, especially when we put WarGreymon next to it. As the Digimon take its roots from the Tyrannosaur dinosaur, which is an already extinct animal, then WarGreymon would indeed be ancient. Maybe a little side note, where we go way back in Digimon history, way back in WarGreymon's bloodline to see its ancestry, there is an ancient dragon Digimon called Ancient Greymon. This would actually mean that its name means ancient. That was just a side note, let us get back to the subject. WarGreymon has a body clad in armor of the super metal chrome Digizoid, a metal derived from the special Huanglong ore, a metal that can only be scratched by objects made of the same metal. This means that it would take a lot of effort and tactical brilliance to take down the Digimon, not only because of its outstanding and durable armor, but also because it has rapidly improved its speed and power. What is also good to know is that it can also fly, and airborne opponents are always difficult to take down. WarGreymon's armor is equipped with the Dramon destroyers to both of its arms, and this armor exhibits immense power against Dramon species Digimon. Dramon species are dragon monster species, referring to those Digimon who normally have the suffix Dramon in their names. Using the Dramon destroyers, WarGreymon has an edge over the different dragon Digimon, even if the armor is like a double-edged sword, putting its own life at great risk. It's a bit of an irony to know that the Digimon carrying the armor capable of killing all dragon Digimon is itself a subspecies of these same Dramon species Digimon, and because of it, they share a common weakness to those Dramon killer weapons. So, offensively, WarGreymon is already terrifying by simply taking a look at its Dramon destroyers, and it has also other means of offense like the Terra Force, where it takes all of the energy within the atmosphere and concentrates it into one spot and fires it. Defensive wise, WarGreymon is also a force to be reckoned with. When the shells equipped on its back unite into one, they become the Brave Shield, which is a shield of the strongest toughness. When the Pokemon Empoleon is brought together with the Digimon WarGreymon, they become this nameless Digimon, who looks to be nothing more than a variant of WarGreymon, an upgraded WarGreymon. And I think it's important that we stand still on a certain aspect which can be noticed when looking back at other Digimon fusions. You see, when two Digimon decide to merge and become one, there are times where one Digimon's traits will become the dominant traits once fused. Here we have the mythical dragon Digimon XVmon and the insectoid Digimon Stingmon. When XVmon's traits take the upper hand, they become Paildramon, considered to be a dragon Digimon like XVmon. And in terms of body, we see more of XVmon than we do of Stingmon. However, when the latter's traits, meaning Stingmons, take the upper hand, they become Dinobemon, a Digimon who looks like an insect and whose main body is inspired by that of an insect, and Stingmon is an insect, so it makes perfect sense. In the case of Empoleon and WarGreymon, I would say that WarGreymon's traits are way more dominant, way more pronounced, from the body to even the armor. Don't get me wrong, it is no criticism at all, I love it. I'm only hoping that we may also see a fusion between WarGreymon and Empoleon, where the Empoleon traits are a bit more visible. Because again, right here, the nameless one appears more to be looking like a WarGreymon upgraded with the data of an Empoleon. Now, with that out of our way, why don't we take our time to discuss which traits of the component Digimon were transferred. After that, we'll try to find a proper name for this Digimon. I put Empoleon next to its fusion with WarGreymon to show you what was upgraded, and there is lots that was changed, sometimes for the better and sometimes maybe for the worse. I'm not talking design wise but in terms of combat. What struck me first is that Empoleon's trident's crown was transferred not only in the fused form's head, but also in its armor and its shoulder. There is also Empoleon's collar which runs from its tummy to its neck that was transferred. We can see that the Dramon destroyers of WarGreymon took more a form resembling Empoleon's wings. It has also the sharp edges which Empoleon used to slice through ice. The Dramon destroyers were also upgraded for better usage. Now it can hold it much better than it could when we look at the way WarGreymon is holding it. The wings changed entirely, which I think might make it a bit more vulnerable because it became a bigger target. On the foot it doesn't have claws anymore, but it looks more like flippers, no doubt making it move in excellence underwater. The fusion also took more the color patterns of Empoleon, meaning more black, blue and white. I also see this interesting symbol on the fusion's wrist. I don't know where it might come from. If anyone has an idea, please let us know in the comment section. So the fusion truly looks like an upgraded version of WarGreymon with Empoleon influences. The core body is still that of a WarGreymon, so it wouldn't matter that much to put it next to each other to see what has been transferred. I still remain with the same thought of wanting to see a fusion where Empoleon becomes the core body. Now this brings us to the name. How should we call it, considering the creator didn't give it a name? Luckily you guys gave your ideas in the NostalgiaNat5 community page, which were many, so let us go through all of them. Ragnar Bear gave it the name War Empoleon. Mr. Matt named it WarGreymon, which I think is a nice one. As the main body of this fusion is still that of a WarGreymon, I think the emphasis should lie more on the Greymon aspect when it comes to the name. Supernerd Reviews named it PanzerGreymon, which might be in reference to the German Panzer tank in World War II. Adverter Bike named it Napoleon Greymon as a way of tying in Empoleon's origins. And Andres Marrero had a different take, which was more pleasing in my eyes. He wrote the following: I personally call this Digimon WarGreymon Icebreaker mode, meaning that this is a mode change, not a Digivolution. This WarGreymon appears to have modified, enhanced, upgraded itself using the Pokédex data of the Empoleon species as a reference and framework, so it isn't more powerful than the standard WarGreymon, but its capabilities have been heavily modified. I do like this comment for various reasons. You see, most of you who tried to come up with a name simply tried to combine WarGreymon's name with that of Empoleon's. No doubt many of you watched Dragon Ball and sort of took inspiration from, let us say, Goku, who fused with Vegeta to become either Gogeta or Vegito. These fusing standards don't really apply to Digimon. WarGreymon fusing with Metal Garurumon become Omnimon. Stingmon fusing with XVmon become Pahilodramon. The fused Digimon's name is never really a combination of the name of the component Digimon. Because the Digimon looks more like an upgraded version of WarGreymon, I'd rather see it as a mode change with Empoleon features. Would not per se make it stronger than a WarGreymon, but the upgrade would give it certain advantages in certain domains. In this case, it would probably be very swift and smooth in aquatic and icy environments. Actually, I'd rather see it to be more a aquatic WarGreymon variant, because there's already a spot for an icy WarGreymon variant, even if it's not a canon Digimon. We once discussed how Snow Agumon didn't get a Digivolution line, and tried to theorize how its line would look like if it were to be developed properly. We ended up with an icy mega level WarGreymon variant, some would even call Cold WarGreymon, which I think was a very interesting choice of name. So just for the sake of this video, I'm going to call this new fusion WarGreymon Icebreaker mode. The question remains the following: how can we explain this creation? What can explain its origins? We're going to go through some of your comments which tried to give us an answer. Mr. Matt wrote the following: WarGreymon Icebreaker mode is a Greymon specimen that was born in marine regions and acquired an unknown foreign data. Meh wrote the following: WarGreymon Icebreaker mode is the result of a hacker trying to inject 4 Digimon into the server by compiling and uploading foreign data to the main server that hosts Yggdrasil. As a result, many programs that couldn't materialize in this new world ended up infecting already existing Digimon. The result of this would usually result in a power far beyond regular Ultimate or Mega, even matching some Super Ultimate level Digimon. However, all that power comes with the major cost for some. If the two organisms cannot coexist and sync inside the new body, the sanity of both will gradually decline until all that is left is just an empty shell with the goal to survive. Those that manage to adjust to the new body and sync both minds with foreign body will be able to access all the information that was stored in both fusion units while also being able to develop further abilities. I like this origin story because it already tells that this form needs to be well balanced in its mind. If it's not the case, then it might be that it will become a chaotic Digimon, unreliable, unpredictable, and dangerous for everyone. Jactal wrote the following: I'd say this Digimon hails from a different server, one that uses the biodata when Pokemon are transferred into a PC. Very interesting that you brought up the Pokemon PC. You see, there is this long-standing debate that didn't even come to a conclusion about what happens with Pokemon stored in the Pokemon storage system. Now you can look at it from the game's perspective and the anime perspective. In the games, Pokemon are stored in someone else's PC with no implication that Pokemon are able to actively interact within the digital world. Now, according to the anime, the Pokemon storage system is more like a transfer system, and all Pokemon must be sent somewhere over the internet. Like Ash's Pokemon being sent to Professor Oak, he must call Professor Oak in order to transfer his Pokemon. During normal operation, all Pokemon are inside their Pokeballs in this digital world, except Porygon. Now, Porygon is a special one, according to its Pocket Monster Encyclopedia. It was created 20 years prior to the events of Pokemon Generation 7 at the Pokemon Lab on Cinnabar Island, using the state-of-the-art technology of its time. The Pokemon is made completely out of programming code. It has the ability to convert its body into digital data, allowing it to travel through cyberspace, serving as its guardian. It has become more helpful inside cyberspace by searching for any suspicious data that exists, and that is a task many Digimon share. So in a way, Porygon could be our missing link to knowing what is happening inside cyberspace when a Pokemon is being stored. Could be a fun video to bring up some theories. But I'm telling this story because many believe that Porygon is a Digimon as it comes from the digital world, and also because it has the suffix on as all other Digimon, even if all other Digimon have the suffix mon and not just on. Now, as we took so much time figuring out the origins and name of the Digimon, let us discuss what it can do, shall we? Many of you were curious to know how effective the Drum Killers would be in this form. We had mixed opinions. Let me highlight 3 of your answers. Mr. Matt wrote that the Drum Killers are now capable of slicing through tough armor like Chrondigizoit. And Super Game Freak and Watcher Noir would in a way both disagree. Super Game Freak wrote that the new Drum Killers worn by WarGreymon Icebreaker mode are probably not as effective at killing dragons because of the foreign data. It is of no surprise because we all assume that this new fusion would be living in aquatic, if not arctic areas where dragons are less common. It would be living and adapting in those regions where ice are very common, or very solid Digimon like Vikimon, said to have fur that became like ice crystals and also as hard as Chrondigizoid. So WarGreymon Icebreaker mode would be better equipped to survive in those areas, instead of surviving in hot areas where dragons are more present. Watcher Noir even wrote that the Drum Killers were swapped for Neptune Splitters, an advantageous pair of tridents designed to pierce through aquatic Digimon with fiercely freezing strikes, making their scales brittle with each blow. In terms of projectiles, Digital Silver 101 wrote that WarGreymon Icebreaker mode would probably have a similar attack to WarGreymon X's Poseidon Force. The Poseidon Force is an attack where WarGreymon X is taking all of the energy within the Hydrosphere and concentrates it into one spot, then fires it as an extremely dense, high-pressured energy shot. Certainly a move that would fit this new fusion quite well. It even reminds me of Empoleon's move in the Pokémon game, where it summons a giant aquatic vortex that drags foes into a sphere of condensed water. Certainly the type of move that we could see being transferred to this new form, except that it would be much different and certainly more impactful. And what about the armor it is wearing? or its overall mobility? Andres Marrero gave us a solid explanation about those, although I have to take out chunks of the comments just for the sake of not stretching this video too wide and take more of your precious time. The following was written: "It can no longer fly, but it has gained an incredible swimming capability and it zooms through the sea in a stream of water. The shield might work like solar panels, designed as a focusing tool to help gather energy from the atmosphere and store it in the armor where it is converted into water. Other modifications include being able to tunnel through the ice at astonishing speeds. The armor probably also has a function that draws and concentrates electrical-based attacks into the tridents and empowering its physical strikes while also protecting it from what would be its weakness. This protection from electrical attacks was most likely based on metal claw and some uses of steel wing. Overall, WarGreymon Icebreaker mode is a water variant of the WarGreymon species that focuses on mobility and restricting the opponent's movement so that it can come in and deal heavy damage on exposed areas or gaping holes in one's defense, as well as taking cues from the versatility and vast options philosophy in Pokémon. The natural charisma and noble character of WarGreymon Icebreaker mode makes it a great rival to Vikimon and is probably a source of admiration for Snow Agumon and Penguinmon and their respective communities, of which Icebreaker mode looks after and is a part of." Hey guys, this is the end of the video. Again, I'd like to tell you that I adore these fan arts. I love to discuss them, I love to read your comments about it, and I love to simply make videos about it to honor those who went out of their way to design them. I like this fan-made Digimon a lot, by the way. Shows the numerous potential the Digimon universe has, and trust me when I say it, there are so many fan-made Digimon out there, so I'm actually very happy and excited to just go out on the internet and search for them and discuss them. You guys can always tag me on Twitter or send me an email with the links towards these fan-made Digimon, and I'll make sure to give it a proper shout out once I make the videos. In case you guys are new, please make sure to like the video and write your opinions down in the comment section. Also make sure to subscribe to the channel. I mean, with so much work and all these comments I've been reading of those who wrote them in the Nostalgia Network community page, I think I deserve your subscriptions, right? What more can I do to convince you? Also, all of those fan-made Digimon we have discussed can be found in a playlist that is always updated and dedicated to it. That way you can always catch up on newer and older videos.